me ask you something. You wake up, you force down 6 eggs, you choke down a protein shake that tastes like chalk, you spend $200 a month on supplements, you go to the gym, you sweat, you push, you suffer, and after all that, you look in the mirror and see the same person staring back. You feel like you're doing everything right. But nothing's changing. What if I told you it's not your genetics, it's not your training, it's not even your effort, it's your protein, and you've been lied to? Today, I'm going to show you the new research that proves you're wasting hundreds of dollars on protein you don't need and reveal exactly how much you actually need to build muscle, save money, and stop stressing about food.
Now, before I show you the research, let's understand how we got so obsessed with protein in the first place. Back in the golden era of bodybuilding, guys like Arnold were eating 300 grams of protein a day, a dozen eggs in one sitting, pounds of chicken breast, and somehow that became the standard that everyone copied. Fast forward to today, and the obsession has only gotten worse. Walk into any grocery store and you'll see protein cereal, protein chips, protein cookies, even Starbucks lattes with extra protein. And here's the part that makes me angry. Companies are literally charging you 30-40% more just because they slap high protein on the label. And we pay for it, happily. Because we've been brainwashed into believing that more protein equals more muscle. But here's the question that nobody asks. What if that's completely wrong? What if eating more protein is actually making you smaller? That sounds crazy, right? Let me show you the data.
Recently, a group of top protein researchers got together and asked a simple question. How much extra muscle do you actually build by eating more protein? So they gathered every long-term growth study they could find, 62 in total, where participants lifted weights but ate different amounts of protein. Then they plotted all the results on a graph. Protein intake on the bottom, muscle growth on the side. Here's what they found, and I promise this will surprise you. One group ate what most lifters would call low protein, just 0.45 grams per pound of body weight. For a 180-pound person, that's only 82 grams a day, basically 2 chicken breasts. Another group ate double that, 0.9 grams per pound, 4 chicken breasts a day. Using gym bro math, double the protein should mean double the gains, right? Wrong. The growth was practically identical. Now, let's really push it. Another group ate 1.5 grams per pound, 6 chicken breasts a day. And guess what? Despite eating 3 times more protein, they actually gained less muscle. Now, I know what you're thinking. You can't just cherry pick studies, and you're right. So let's look at all the studies in that analysis. When you plot them all out, the trend is basically flat. What that means is the anticipated benefit of pushing your protein higher is very, very small. So small that many researchers aren't even confident that a benefit exists at all. Dr. Trexler from Duke University put it perfectly. If you're building a house and you have more bricks than the blueprint calls for, that doesn't mean you end up with a bigger house. You just end up with a bunch of leftover bricks that you have to haul away. In other words, expensive pee. Now, before you start feeling guilty about all those protein shakes you bought, here's the good news. It's not your fault. You weren't wrong. You were just misinformed. And now that you know the science, you can actually do something about it. Because here's the truth. Protein is important. Just not as important as you think. And how much you need depends on 3 things: your age, your activity level, and your goal. Let me give you a formula that actually works, not the bro science you've been hearing for years. Here's the breakdown. If you're sedentary, no exercise, 0.8 grams per kilogram of body weight. That's only 0.36 grams per pound. Basically, you barely need any. If you're active 3 to 5 days a week, 1.2 to 1.6 grams per kilogram. That's 0.73 to 0.73 grams per pound. If you're an athlete 6 to 7 days a week, 1.6 to 2.2 grams per kilogram. That's 0.73 to 1 gram per pound. But here's the kicker. If you're over 40, your body is less efficient at using protein. You actually need more, 1.8 to 2.2 grams per kilogram. That's 0.82 to 1 gram per pound. And if you're on a cut, losing weight, bump it up to 2.2 to 2.7 grams per kilogram. That's 1 to 1.2 grams per pound. So, for a 180-pound person who's active and over 40, that's around 147 to 180 grams of protein per day. Not 300, not even 200. You see, it's not one size fits all, and that's where most people go wrong. But here's the thing, even if you're eating the right amount, you might still be wasting money, because not all proteins are created equal. And this is where things get really interesting. Let's talk about what's really hurting: your wallet. Let's say your body only needs about 100 grams of protein a day, but you're eating 200 grams because you've been told more is better. That extra 100 grams, it's not building muscle. Your body just burns it for energy or gets rid of it. Now, if that extra 100 grams is coming from chicken breast, that's about $5 added to your grocery bill every single day. Let's do the math, and I promise this will blow your mind. $5 a day equals $150 a month equals $1,800 a year. That's a vacation. That's 5 pairs of good gym shoes. That's a new smartwatch. That's a year's worth of gym membership. Now, what if you replace those extra protein calories with carbs, like potatoes or rice? You get the same energy for less than $1 a day. That's a difference of $4 a day, $120 a month, nearly $1,500 a year. Imagine what you could do with an extra $1,500 every year. But wait, it gets even better, because there's another way to save money and potentially build more muscle at the same time. And it involves something most fitness channels never talk about. Here's something most fitness channels won't tell you. Plant protein can be just as effective as animal protein if you do it right. There's a natural bodybuilder named Alex Leonidas. He used to eat 200 grams of protein a day. Now he eats as low as 90 grams, and all of it comes from plant-based sources. His strength? 405-pound bench press, 210-pound weighted pull-up. He's as strong as he's ever been. And here's the surprising part. He actually noticed better recovery. Why? Because plant-based foods are rich in fiber, and fiber feeds your gut bacteria, which produce short-chain fatty acids, and those actually stimulate muscle protein synthesis. So by eating more plants and reducing animal protein, you're not just saving money. You're improving your gut health, your digestion, and possibly even your gains. Now, I'm not saying go vegan overnight, but I am saying you don't need chicken breast at every single meal to build muscle. And that brings us to the most important part, what you need to actually do starting today. So let's summarize. What should you actually do? And I'm going to make this so simple that you can implement it starting tomorrow. Step 1. Calculate your protein target using the formula I gave you. Active and under 40, 0.7 to 1 gram per pound. Active and over 40, 0.82 to 1 gram per pound. Cutting, 1 to 1.2 grams per pound. Sedentary, 0.36 grams per pound. You don't need much. Step 2, track your protein for 3 days using a free app like MyFitnessPal. You'll be surprised. You're probably eating more than you think. Most people hit their target without even trying. Step 3, replace extra protein calories with carbs or healthy fats. Better workout performance, better digestion, more money in your pocket. Step 4, prioritize training and recovery over protein. Protein is just the building block. The real growth comes from progressive overload, quality sleep, and enough calories. And if you're still worried, go with 0.73 to 1 gram per pound. It'll cover your bases without breaking the bank. So here's the bottom line. You've been lied to, but now you know the truth. And now you have the power to make smarter choices. Now, if this video saved you money on protein, hit that like button. It helps the algorithm show this to more people who are wasting money on supplements they don't need. And subscribe for science-based fitness content that actually works, not just bro science. In the next video, I'm going to break down why belly fat is so hard to lose, even when you're eating clean. And I'll show you the one thing that actually works. You won't want to miss it. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.